So are we seeing inflation rise again, and what does that mean for the average Australian? Well, inflation very simply is the cost of goods and services going up. But when we look at the cost of goods and services going up, we see there's a wide variety of things going on. Things like obviously fuel we can see going up, but relatively speaking versus last year, fuel is slightly more expensive because of discounts that were available last year that are not there now. We also see the cost of services. So anyone where they're providing any form of services, things are tended to go quicker. And so the cost of services has gone up slightly quicker. On average, compared to wage rise, that's what we need to look at. So in other words, if inflation is 3%, but wage rises are 3%, well, we get paid more and things cost us more. Really, it's the same. What we're seeing at the moment is some people are doing quite nicely in terms of pay rises. So their pay rises are keeping up with inflation, and others are not, especially in some of the public service sectors where they had agreed wage rises when inflation was lower, and that means that maybe they're only getting a 2.5% or 3% increase, and we're getting like 3.8% inflation. The other thing, of course, is that the cost of housing, rent is included a little bit in there, but each one of us is going to be impacted differently. So some people rent, obviously rising rent's going to impact them worse than what the headline figure would suggest. Likewise with mortgages, when we see mortgage rates increasing. But we have to remember that compared to a year ago, mortgage rates, even though they've gone up 0.5% in the last few months, well, they came down 0.5% since a year ago. So we're really not much different compared to a year ago anyway. So I think the key thing is always to keep control of your spending. The best way that I know how to do this is by having a weekly and a monthly spending allowance, we call it. And then if you get, for example, I get $200 every week, well, if things are more expensive, I'll buy less of them. And maybe I can afford to buy more of the things that didn't go up as much in price, but I'm still sticking to that same $200 a week expenses. And therefore, if my wages go up, well, then I'm going to be better off because I'm sticking to the same amount of spending each week and each month. And I'd recommend that you do the same. If you have a spending plan and stick to that, inflation won't really bother you at all. In fact, you'll just get better and better off over time. Most people don't do that though. They just tend to spend the money they can access, and therefore a pay rise means more access, therefore you spend more, and therefore you don't feel any better off. You just feel like you're worse off or not, you don't have any money, and therefore it must be inflation or the cost of living that's causing you the problem. It isn't, but it feels like it is. Does that make sense?